Congratulations, adventurers! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. And today, we are playing a game called Gondo, the life-saving magic of inventorying by Callum of the Released podcast. And they did provide me with a free PDF copy of the game, so thank you for that. As soon as I saw it, I was throwing my dice everywhere. I was excited to play. I'm here with some guests, Mila, Alex, and Tristan. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. But first, if you're new here, my name is Taylor. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the person behind Roll for Felicity, usually DMing, GMing. Today we're playing a GM-less game, but I'm still going to be kind of pushing people along to get through this. And I always do an icebreaker question so that we can get to know our cast a little bit better. And the icebreaker question for this stream is, what is something you own that sparks joy? And for me, I actually remembered to grab it beforehand. This is a little container that I have. I don't know what it originally held. Right now it's holding like hair bows and things like that. But a friend of mine who has since passed away gave it to me when I was in middle school or high school. It had things in it. I think it had cookies or something in it. But I just loved the container so much, and so I've kept it around, even though when it was made, I don't think it was intended to be something that was kept. I think it was intended to be packaging. But it's a little thing that I keep that sparks joy, and I keep it on my vanity. And that's kind of the game that we're playing today is going to be about things like that. So I'm going to throw it over to my guests today to introduce themselves and answer that question. First up is Mila. Do you want to introduce yourself to chat?
I do, though I do want to say that the way when you threw your dice made it sound like when you got the free copy, you just started throwing like your dice in the air,
Maybe
which I did really like.
But I also
this
did
excitement, dice confetti.
Yeah.
My name is Mila. I am a variety streamer here on Twitch as well. Currently playing Ni no Kuni. Just started it, which is very fun. And yeah, I really like tabletop games. My thing is when I was 10 years old, long ago, my parents took me to Las Vegas. And they don't gamble and they don't drink, so it was an odd choice.
Good time to take a 10-year-old, though. If you don't
and an
gamble
8-year-old.
Yeah.
My brother was 8. Anyway, we also went to the Hoover Dam, and while we were at the Hoover Dam, I got a little jackalope, and I still have him, and I love him immensely.
So
he is my friend. He has no name, but he's very cute. He has little paws here. And I just love him. And I love finding when, like, sometimes he gets packed up and I don't see him for a while just with moving. And he always makes me really happy when I see him and his little face.
Very cute. Alex, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody and tell us about a thing you own that sparks joy?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex, she, her pronouns. For my item that sparks joy, I actually remember to grab it too. So I love to read in general, but I also love like campy, like 80s horror stuff going on. And so I actually just got this book the other day. I just finished another book by this author and it was really good. It was really good, like campy, like 80s, just like all that going on. And this seems like it's going to be the same thing. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get into it, but I love to read. I love to go different places and books and things like that. And yeah, so that's my thing that sparks joy.
Is that a choose your own adventure? It looks like a choose your own adventure style cover.
It's not, but I wish it was.
Yeah.
That'd be so great.
I have to say that like aesthetic of book is literally my branding for the stream. Those are like the things I have on my mood board, like those kind. So like that's like where I got my like font from, is like that kind of thing. So I love that aesthetic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Tristan, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, hi, I'm Tristan, he, him pronouns. I also do some streaming, but we can talk about that later. I've known Taylor for a long time. We actually, it turns out she reached out to me on Twitter after a bunch of like Twitter drama blew up, and she was like, "Wait, Tristan?"
I know you.
Because we were in drama class together in college.
Yeah.
So that was a fun thing. But items that spark joy for me, I have like so much trouble picking because I've got so many things.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about, like, you can't see it very well because it is green screen green, unfortunately. So I've got another shell, but it is a Game Boy Advance SP, but put into a metal shell that makes it like more like a Game Boy Pocket. It's very cool.
That's so cool.
That was my thing, but then I remembered, wait, I have something so much better that sparks so much more joy, which is that I'm a huge McElroy Brothers fan, and an old bit on the show was kind of about me. So I go to a lot of their live shows, and they do the haunted doll watch at the live shows. And when I'm drinking and having fun, I get really bad at managing money. So at every live show that I've been to, I have bid on and won the haunted doll.
You are living my dream, my
Or the
actual
live
dream.
show.
The haunted doll watch dolls.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So if things start going wrong on stream, then we'll know what we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first one, and it's a haunted protection troll doll. And it had like a staff and like a little, it said in the thing it came with like a chalice to give it offerings of like wine and sunflower seeds. And then my wife dropped it and broke its nose off, and I was like, if this were actually haunted and protecting us, no longer.
Oh
But
my
then
god.
the other two were both done in the same live show, and so I got the big one that's like in the red dress first, and I was like, this is just like an American Girl doll. And then this one showed up, and I pulled it out of the box, and I was like, I viscerally do not like touching this one. I think this one might actually be like, it does not feel, I'm holding it with my fingertips because it does not feel good in my hands.
Sparks joy and terror, it sounds like.
Yeah, joy and terror. I've only lost one. I went to the Connecticut live show recently, and Justin pulls up the listing, and it was for 2 dolls, and they were starting at like $100 or something like that. And Justin, like, on stage is like, now normally when I pull these things up, it starts a bidding war in the audience. I don't think anyone's paying $100 for these. My friend has video of Justin saying that and then turning her camera to me as I'm bidding on my phone.
Oh no.
And I was like, I'm gonna win these. No one else is gonna bid. And they ended up selling for like $400.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Windfall.
And all
for
I can
that
help,
person.
I can't help but think every time that happens that like these people who sell haunted dolls on eBay are like, wake up one morning and are like, I've cracked the code. What was it about this listing?
Oh my
Oblivious to the fact.
Wow, that's a good one. That's
Yeah.
That's a good thing to spark joy. Sorry, I'm messing all my notes up right now.
The souls of the damned trapped in dolls. Sparks joy.
Thank you, Zynar, for the follow. Let me know if you want me to say your name in a different way, but hello.
That's how you say their name.
Okay, perfect. Speaking of chat, if you're in chat right now, there's some certain things you can do to help the stream. One of them you may have just seen me do, which is you can put !marker, the word marker, in chat. That's really helpful to me because it will make a stream marker in the VOD for me to go back and make a clip of that moment. So if there's something that you think would be fun to see on TikTok or Twitter or something like that, or that you're like, oh, people who are like, you know, new to the stream, maybe they would want to see that. That's super helpful because I am lazy about clipping, and it makes it way easier for me if I know what people think should be clips. Another thing you can do is when you follow, and also when you, as you watch the stream, you'll get channel points. You can do those to do different things. There's a little emote of a sparkling water can at the bottom of the chat that you should be able to see. If you click on that, you can see different things you can do with channel points. One of them is play sound effects. So if there's something that happens during stream that you're like, oh, this would be a funny sound effect to use, you can do that. And the players will also be able to hear it. Also, there are things you can do to affect the game via tipping. So let me do this. Tip rewards. Oh, perfect example. You can all hear that. Mila just did a little magic sparkle.
Perfect for tipping.
Perfect for tipping.
Wait.
For 200 bits, oh, there we go, coins. Also good for tipping. For 200 bits, you can give one player advantage on a roll, which for this game is extremely powerful. There's not that many rolls in the game. For 500 bits, you can give all of us advantage on a roll. Or for 1,000 bits, you can force all players to make an extra roll to survive the dungeon, or you can make up an item for them to find. That's at our discretion, and we may fill in some of the mechanical parts of it. You can also tip the cash equivalent to $5 or $10 US at the link in chat. And those tips will go to my 3 guests tonight. The last thing you can do to help the stream, congratulations, you're already doing it. Thank you for watching, whether you're watching this live on Twitch or watching it on the YouTube VOD afterwards. I appreciate it. It's nice to have people watching the stuff that we're doing. Okay, let's start the game proper. As I mentioned, we are playing a game called Gondo, the life-saving magic of inventorying, and a lot of the game is making up a dungeon, making up some items, and then rolling dice to see if we can survive the dungeon with the items we made up or elaborated on. And there is a suggested thing to read before we start, which I will do now. Please close your eyes and take a deep breath. I'd like you to picture an object that sparks joy in you. Maybe this object sparks joy in you thanks to a person you associate it with. Maybe it's because of the circumstances in which you acquired it. Try to picture what it looks like. Remember how it feels to your touch and how much it weighs. Concentrate on this joy and on the reasons why this object sparks that joy in you. And that's how we start the game. I have to transition to the scene so that people can see the Miro board that I made. Or sorry, not that I made, the game provides. There we go. Everyone should be able to see this now. So, the first part of the game is us making up the dungeon that we find ourselves in. The game also has a little blurb to read for this step. Gondo has much to say about the belongings we cherish. They might be unique thanks to their provenance, yet it's the circumstances of their acquisition and their use that truly binds us to them emotionally. We're all going to be playing some adventures, including me, who have found ourselves in a dungeon and have managed to beat the boss of it and find some treasure. But we get to decide what the dungeon is. So the first question I'll ask you all, there is a little dungeon generator table. Do we want to roll some dice to go off of that, or do we want to make up kind of our own thing? Or a little bit of both?
I think it would be fun to, like, all of us roll the d6 and then average it, like, average that roll.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm down for that.
I'm definitely down for that.
All right, cool. I got a 6.
1.
Also a 1.
I'm rolling right now because I forgot to actually bring dice. I got a 2.
Okay, plus 2.
So 6 is 6 and 1 and 2. 12, 15.
2.5.
Yeah, so let's roll down. So that would be 2. So this is submerged is the description for 2.
Ooh.
So
I love that already.
Wherever we are, we're submerged. Do we want to roll for the place as well?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I got a 4.
5.
Another 1.
Rolling low in this game is mostly good, so.
That's
Oh no, I'm getting it all the way early.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
So I think it's 14 divided by 4, right? 4, 4, 5, and 1. That should be 14 divided by 4, which is...
Yes.
3.
Oh, very fitting. It's a submerged ship.
Oh, look at that. All right.
And then we can also roll to see who the boss, who the person that we fought was. Oops, I threw my dice over my dice tray. I don't think I've ever done that before.
Got a 2.
Oh, I got a 1.
Got a 1.
1, 1, 2, 5, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Where did my dice
4. So that's a 2.
go? And the boss was a creature.
It's so descriptive.
I can visualize it right
Tentacles. Can we say it had tentacles?
Yes.
Was it a
I like
tentacle
tentacles.
creature?
Yeah.
I have a little tentacle on my shelf.
now. Aw.
Nice. Yeah, some kind of tentacled creature. So we're on a submerged ship.
A Kraken-y kind of thing, maybe?
Ooh,
Yes.
I like that. Let me do a new note so I can like put what the stuff about the ship is. All right. Submerged ship. Boss.
I also just want to call out that I love that of the boss categories, it's genius, creature, machine, plant, Karen, or gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, the descriptions when we get to the loot, the like emotion, like the descriptions of examples of like usefulness, emotion, and encumbrance are very funny. I really like them. Also, this Miro board that we're using is one of the digital resources that is provided in the game. They have a template for this Miro board, and it's so nice and well designed. So I have to shout that out. I love to see good stuff for online play in games. I'm gonna move a pebble over to say that averaging out our rolls for that was Sparked Joy. So I'm gonna move a little pebble over to the Sparked Joy. That was fun. That was a good idea. What's some other stuff about this dungeon? Other ideas that people have? Maybe like what it looks like or why we're here. Those kinds of things.
Well, for what it looks like, I mean, like a green-blue, like, light all over it.
Ooh.
Which is kind of just underwater, but like that, like really like fake-looking blue-green light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Like from
The-
like, Pirates
Like
of
an
the Caribbean.
aquarium kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
Yeah,
like an
like the-
aquarium. Like we're in a giant aquarium.
Like the way that when a movie wants to signal that you've moved south of the US-Mexico border, everything is just sepia tones.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, hey, we're underwater. It's turquoise.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. So that though gives me the vibe that like it sank kind of like almost just offshore. Like it's not
Ooh, yeah.
like deep like
Mm. 'Cause
Because
Titanic
there's
sunk,
still light.
right?
Yeah.
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 So it's like just offshore, and that makes me feel like we were on like a recovery mission
Ooh.
Mm.
I like that.
to get stuff there.
What made it sink? Was it just the Kraken, or did something else make it sink? And then the Kraken came in and was like, "Hello, I'm a Kraken, and I'm here to mess up your day."
Hi, I'm a Kraken. I'm here. This looks like a good home for me.
Okay,
Thank you so
I want
much.
that to legitimately be the way that it talks and that it can speak English, that it can
Yes.
speak English.
Yeah.
Yep, that
Yeah.
is not a
Totally
Kraken.
with, like,
100%.
He is a mascot for IKEA.
The idea that this Kraken was like, saw this ship and was like, oh, thank you, nice humans, for providing a nice home for me. And then we're like, we're gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, no!
No, it's fine.
Yeah. I don't think we answered our question.
No.
Did the Kraken
What made it sink?
We came close enough.
I think if we combine these ideas though, I think what made it sink was that the crew saw the Kraken and panicked, and the Kraken was just like, hello, nice
Oh,
humans.
yeah.
Watch out
Yes.
for that shoal of rocks, you will beach yourself and sink. And they were like, oh my god, and then they did beach themselves and sink. Like, and the Kraken was like, oh, you have given me a gift, I see. This was for me all along. How did you know it was my birthday?
I feel like that means that we can't have killed this Kraken. I will now feel terrible.
Happy birthday.
I think maybe we relocated it, or maybe we're just letting
Yeah.
it keep the ship. Like it's like we need this stuff, but you can have the ship. Maybe
We negotiated for the loot. We were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, if you just let us have the loot, then like you can live here as long as you want."
Yeah.
Yes.
that.
Diplomatic.
This
Well,
is
actually,
purely a roleplay session and not a combat session.
it was very diplomatic, and it went on for a while, and eventually the Kraken was like, I have to go pick up my children from Kraken. So I'm going to go. And then like it left, and like the little like mission accomplished banner came across.
Yeah. We found an alternate win condition. I like that. What other kind of hazards do we think there are in this dungeon apart from the Kraken? Or the ship, I should say, because we decided it as a ship.
Like some barnacles that you could like scratch yourself on.
Mm.
They can be more dangerous than they look, I think.
Yeah, sharp
Oh,
barnacles.
100%.
Well, they could also be like huge barnacles, because like the top of a barnacle is like its mouth, right? So like they could also be like the things in Half-Life that like grab you from the ceiling, like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like there's and that's like the lead up in the dungeon. If we were actually playing through the dungeon, it's like it would be like, oh, you see barnacles everywhere, be careful, you might scratch your foot. And then it's like the next room, it's like they're massive barnacles that are going to eat you.
Really sharp.
And you're like, I should have seen the foreshadowing. Oh no.
Oh no! How did we not see this coming?
I like that. How would we feel if there is... I'm imagining if it's underwater, we either have magic or some kind of like suits or something that is like a lot, or we are creatures that can breathe underwater. But how would we feel if one of the hazards is something that impedes that ability? So like one of the dangers that we could have would be drowning, like on our way out. How do people feel about that?
Yep, I like that. I was actually kind of thinking, like, you know, obviously if it's a magical world and stuff, like there wouldn't necessarily be a need for like gunpowder for cannons, but it would probably be some kind of magical thing. And so there's probably a room where that is stored, and that's where that anti-magic kind of like shielding is, to like neutralize it so it doesn't blow up on the ship, kind of thing. And maybe there's like a system that like as you're moving it through the ship activates as this magical explosive is moving.
Yeah, so some kind of magical explosions as a hazard. That's cool.
I'm gonna really quickly move a pebble over to Gunter the Kraken sparking joy for me.
I like that. All right, magical explosions instead of gunpowder. I think a lot of these other questions it suggests we answered. Why did these beings live here? What kind of boss led those creatures? Why or how did the adventurers come into a disagreement with the boss? I think we've answered a lot of it. Are there any other stuff with this submerged ship that we want to add? Other details? We can continue to do this as the game goes on, but yeah.
Well, I was kind of wondering, like I said, you know, some kind of like recovery mission or something. What do you guys think we would have been recovering? What would have been on the ship that was valuable enough?
That's good, because that can help us decide on the loot too later, if we know kind of what is what we're trying to recover. I'm just taking notes.
The only thing I can think of is like a bunch of crystals, but that's because I really like rocks in real life. So I just imagine just like a giant ship of rocks, and I'm like, yeah, I'm there.
I do also like the idea of a giant ship of rocks.
I do like that as well.
Combining that, if it's the magic rocks, like that could also be the magic that drives the we're recovering the resources of like whatever the explosive is, or the fuel or whatever is being used.
Yeah, some of which are the fuel of the ship / the explosives.
So we need to be careful not to get the explodey rocks, right? Is that what I'm hearing here?
Yeah, like we're trying to Gunter's like, this rock makes me feel very good. Please don't take this one on my dresser. It has a very positive aura.
Yeah, some of them are just like crystals, like for like crystal, you know, like crystal work. But some of them control the ship. Some of them are like rose quartz.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good. I feel like I have a pretty good idea of kind of what our mission was, where we're at, some of the hazards that might kill us on our way out. Because unlike with video games, this time with video games or even dungeons in D&D, you fight through the whole thing, you get to the end, and then it's like, oh, there's a secret door portal in the end, so you don't have to go back out. Not the case in real life or in Gondo. The thing we're doing is trying to survive our way out. which means I think we get to move on to step 2, which is deciding more about our specific party. I'll read this little tidbit from the book. Many things differentiate adventurers. Of course, each hero has a different name, appearance, demeanor, and background. However, Gondo teaches us that among the aspects that make each adventurer unique, we should not overlook the belongings they are attached to. So we have some different cards on our shared workspace that indicate different classes of adventurers. Is there any that people were leaning towards wanting to play? Oops, I zoomed out way too far. I'm trying to get us so chat can see, but I think I'm just giving them nausea. The options are wizard, bard, rogue, cleric, fighter, barbarian.
I have 3 different ideas, so if other people wanted to choose them, if you guys have any that you're like a little bit more like, ooh, I really want to do this, like you can go ahead.
No, I think actually if you have 3 that you're like between right now, probably just say what those 3 are, and that will probably help us build like a balanced kind of thing.
Fair. So for myself, I was thinking about either being like the wizard, because I like the idea of being this like little weakling, the barbarian, because I just think it would be funny to be a big, strong, like, ooh, pretty, or the cleric. They all sound really fun. My first thought was wizard, just for like, you know, a little weakling that like just has to like choose between things because they can't carry very much. I think would be entertaining. So I can take the wizard.
Yeah. That sounds
Sure.
good. That's good with me.
Go for it.
I'll explain for the benefit of people watching. The main thing that apart from like, you know, the role play aspects of each one, the main thing that differentiates the different cards are your carrying capacity, which on here is the maximum encumbrance, and then you can also see there's little yellow cards underneath that is the starting equipment for that class. So those are also different from each other. What about Tristan and Alex? Do either of you have ones that you were leaning towards?
Alex?
Well, in most games, I like to play usually some kind of spellcaster or a bard. So I would be fine with like bard or cleric, either one. I was kind of trying to look over what the differences are in this game, but I sing everything in real life anyway. Like I'm kind of like I sing to my dog, I sing what I'm doing, I sing. It's just kind of like it just works for me.
Yeah.
But if somebody else wants to do that, I am totally fine with that.
I would love to hear you sing, so I think you should take the bard.
Okay, I will be the bard then.
Not to pressure you, but...
Oh no, I'm perfectly happy, and I would probably do it anyway, to be honest, so...
Nice. Tristan, I see you're moving around the rogue cards. Is that an indication of your interest, or are you just checking your out?
I'm kind of exploring like what the items they have are, because I was kind of leaning towards either big dumb barbarian, who just picks up and moves heavy things, and or rogue, because the fact that we're in a dungeon that explicitly has shiny rocks that we should not touch really appeals to me.
That's true.
But the thing is, barbarian and rogue can both fulfill that purpose.
Yeah,
like,
true.
That
just
is
for different
true.
motivations.
So how sneaky do you want to be? Do you want to be like loud and proud, or like sneaky and quiet? Not necessarily quiet, but...
Well, Taylor, were you leaning towards either one of those?
No, this doesn't help you. I was thinking maybe cleric,
Okay.
especially because I'm gonna be out of game, kind of like the parent, you know, like getting us to where we need to be. So I feel like if I play a cleric, I'll be in that same headspace either way.
That feels right. Yeah.
Okay. I think what I'm gonna do then is I think I'm gonna go with barbarian, because that's 3 what should be very smart party members, like a wizard and a cleric.
Yeah.
and a bard, like up against just one just very touch the shinies.
I like that. I like that. Cool. So we all have our classes that we've decided on. So now you should be able to, for each one, put your character's name and pronouns in the first part. The encumbrance and usefulness and those things we won't worry about just yet. But you should be able to put your name if you have a name in mind. And also think about what you want your character to be like. So their personality, their appearance, their demeanor, motivation, background, that kind of thing. And I will also be thinking about that. Cleric.
I feel like the wizard name just has to be sung the way that it's spelled there, like Staheven. Every time I address you now, I feel like I have to do that.
One of my favorite things is when you take a very normal for our culture name and then put it into fantasy writing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really funny.
See, I like to use just a very run-of-the-mill name and just use that as my character's name. Where I'm just yes, I'm
excellent.
Yeah. You can also put your own name in the little thing above where it says player 4, player 3, or whatever. You can put your own name, if that will help you find it on the sheet easier, especially. Yeah, I picked Petunia. That name occurred to me and I was like, I'll just go with that. First thought, best thought. What is Petunia like? My mind is empty.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Truly.
No thoughts.
Would you like someone else to describe their character while you think about Petunia?
Yeah, for sure. If other people have things about their character that they're ready to talk about, go for it.
Is anyone else ready?
So far, I think Steven is very nervous, very anxious, very scrawny, very pimply, adult acne, kind of not very confident in himself. Is kind of what I was imagining, and just kind of drowning in his very unfashionable wizard's robe.
Are the little arms too long for him?
Oh, 100% too long. Noticeably too long. And I think he had a growth spurt, so his very unfashionable magic staff is too small for him, and it's just not proportional. So just very much an awkward being.
More of a cane now than a staff.
Oh yeah, but I think he'd actually have to bend over to properly even use it like that,
Yeah. I think Far Smash Mouth Loud is as indicated, does not recognize that when you speak, it doesn't always need to be from the diaphragm. So it's just always blasting. And I'm not gonna actually act that out and peek my microphone out every time, but just imagine in the theater of the mind, always yelling, basically. But I think in typical barbarian fashion, the clothes are the minimal amount needed for protection from the elements.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how we're magically breathing underwater or what we're doing for that solution, but in my head I feel like it's a kind of as you're for your clothing and stuff or your armor, it gets enchanted or something like that, so
yeah.
that it's like
Mhm.
there's an oxygen bubble there. But because the barbarian's not going to wear a lot of armor, he just has a fishbowl that he turned like upside down over his
No.
head.
Oh,
And
that
that's
gets
what
a
got
pebble.
enchanted.
Yeah.
So he's hurting his own ears whenever he talks because it's
Oh,
just
no.
reverberating inside this fishbowl.
Oh no.
And just a lovable dumb idiot kind of thing. Like, went through school but was educated to pass the test, not to actually learn the contents thereof.
Yeah.
Like,
So an athlete in college.
Oh, no.
yeah. There you go.
I'm gonna move some of these ones that we're not doing out of the way so we have a little more time to, or a little more room to see our stuff. What were you thinking for, I guess this is true for Mila and for Tristan. Were you thinking of your characters as human or something else? What was your idea for that? I asked.
I
I'm
was
still trying to
thinking-
decide.
I was thinking human.
I think like some kind of vaguely rock or stone based kind of race.
Ooh,
for
cool.
Far Smash. Think what's his name? Korg.
Oh,
In-
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I like that. I was thinking maybe something like, not a mermaid, but something adjacent to that for Petunia. And that's maybe why she was either decided to do this mission or was chosen for this mission, but something like that. Something water-based. Maybe like a dryad? Are those the water ones? What are the water? Mila, you
Oh,
Naiads.
dryad. Yeah,
is
naiads.
that water? Naiads,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that sounds good. Alex, were you ready to describe your bard, or do you want me to? I think I
Yes.
have some stuff with. Okay, yeah, go for it. Describe.
Oh, that's up to you though. If
no,
you're ready
no.
to go ahead.
Describe Janet.
All right. So Janet has like really long, curly pink hair. She's got this beautiful cloak that's just like full of sequins. It's very loud and shiny and all of that good stuff. She's carrying a clarinet with her because she wants to be just a little bit fancy with her instrument. She feels like clarinets are maybe a little on the fancy side. And she also has a little bag of snacks with her where she carries around like fancy cheese and like dried fruit and things like that. And she's very willing to share all of her snacks. She really likes to make friends, and she finds that giving cheese to people usually makes them pretty happy. So
I love that. That's also very fun because I also noted I have a bag of snacks.
yes.
So we're the snack crew. We've got lots of snacks.
I feel like Steven like comes to you guys for a lot of snacks, and if anyone's like, "Why don't you bring your own snacks?" He's just like, "I couldn't fit it in."
Oh.
There are so
good.
many pockets in that robe for like spell items, like the necessary components.
Yeah.
But Steven's just like, no beef jerky pocket. I'm
Oh, no beef jerky pocket. I had beef jerky and then I leveled up and now I need more spell components and no more beef jerky for me.
Oh,
Steven's-
that's okay. We got you covered.
With Steven's anxiety about things is each pocket have like an embroidered label for like what
Yes.
it's supposed to contain.
Oh,
and there were just no
absolutely.
beef jerky labels.
Yes. Yes.
Mila, how are you saying your character's name?
I've been saying Steven.
Steven. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. But like very fast so it sounds like Steven.
Yeah. I think definitely Petunia at one point like sat down with Steven and was like, I don't see why you don't just make a spell that one of the components is beef jerky since you talk about it all the time.
That's not. There's no spell for that in my spell book.
Can't you make up spells? Isn't that what wizards do?
But what if it explodes?
that could be what the spell is.
No.
Oh.
I think Petunia is like I said, some kind. I think like a naiad. So I'm just going with the classic, very like blue green coloration. So like sometimes maybe you don't even see her because we decided the water.
Filtering.
Yeah, it's like
Where'd Petunia go?
Natural camouflage.
You'll say something and we're all just like, oh.
A lot
Especially poor little Steven.
Steven's just like, don't do that to me.
What? Don't do what to you? I'm just here.
Far's just like, I forgot you existed for a second.
The snacks are also definitely like a lot of seaweed snacks, and then also a lot of like very healthy options. So like it's like definitely the type of Petunia's definitely the type of person that'll have like not a very appealing snack, and so someone will be like, "Oh, I'm hungry," and it's like, "Oh, have this," and the person's like, "That's not." That's not what
And I'm
I
like,
wanted.
I have cheese.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Bar Smash also brought snacks, but it was all bread and baked good based.
Oh
no! It's just soggy, but also there's a trail of like fish that are following him around.
Oh, no.
Because it's like disintegrating out of his pockets.
Yeah.
And you've got the fishbowl, so you like have a house for them. They get their little house.
The fishbowl started to like, the seal started to like break it, so he just has like some like doughy paste that he's like pushed up into the,
I think Petunia keeps secretly casting like a water breathing spell on, so like you don't even necessarily need the thing, but I know it makes you feel better. So it's like I'm not gonna let him die, but the breadcrumbs are not keeping out the water.
I'm in love with this big dumb idiot so much.
It's very good. This is also time that we can talk about some of the items that that our class comes with, and we don't have to go through all of them. In fact, we probably shouldn't go through all of them, maybe one or two. But you can mention, especially if it has like a higher emotion stat, maybe like what this item like means to you, what it looks like, that kind of thing. And there's a little spot on here that you can write a description, which is mostly just to remember like what you decided about the item.
Let's see, look through these real quick.
Oh, I see. I got all these cards. How fancy.
Yes, yeah, you can pull them out from under each other. And yeah, so each item has a encumbrance number, a usefulness number, an emotion number, and then if it has an affiliated class, instead of using the regular usefulness number, if your class is the class that it's affiliated with, you use the affiliated usefulness, which is just double. I explained that in probably the most confusing way that I could have, but that'll come up more later.
I have so little useful
ooh.
So we want to do like what has an emotional significance to us.
I think
like
the ones
there.
to describe at the beginning maybe would be the ones that have like an emotional significance and what that emotional significance is, maybe.
I think so. Far Smash has a souvenir skull mug that has an emotional weight of 4, which
Nice.
is pretty high. But it's a souvenir, so I think it's also way too small because it's like a mug that you would buy for a child at like a amusement park that his parents took him to. It's like a barbarian amusement park.
That's
His
so
parents took him to as a
cute.
kid. So it's actually just like a little like fantasy equivalent of plastic skull mug that was like it was
really
like
good.
for the blood of your enemies, like on the box. He just carries it around on a little chain.
It's very good.
Yeah, that's what I've got to start with.
Oops. Does anyone else have one they want to start with?
So the one that I have has a low emotion score of 1, but I feel like I would just be in just a lot of trouble if I didn't talk about it. I apparently have a donkey. So
Nice.
a donkey that's very affected by music, evidently.
Oh,
So
that's so
even I don't know
good.
how the emotion score is only 1 because I'm already in love with this donkey. It has its own fancy collar. It has its own fancy feed bag. It has,
That's very good.
just like braided donkey fur. Like it's just like the most decked out donkey you've ever seen. So I don't know why it's an emotion of 1, but it's my favorite item.
It's very good. Did you say the name of the donkey?
I have not named the donkey. What should we name the donkey?
I mean, there's the classic joke of naming the donkey Hody, which my dad would be angry at me if I didn't mention.
gotta have a good dad joke in there, right?
Yeah. But that by no means has to be what the donkey is called.
I don't get the joke.
Oh, Don Quixote, like the book Don Quixote.
Don Quixote. All
Yeah,
right.
so donkey. Hody,
Got it. Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
Well,
We have a donkey at work named Bart, and I love him.
Bart?
So Bart is a suggestion.
Let's do Bart.
Yeah. My suggestion was gonna also be a dad joke. Was just to name it Dominic. For the Christmas donkey.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I like Bart a lot.
Bart also sounds very similar to Bard, so
It does. Yeah, that was my thought too. Bart, the donkey of the bard.
Yeah, I like that. Someone in chat.
Also, you have a donkey at work? Oh my god.
I do. Yeah. There's sheep, turkeys, goats, horses galore, other creatures. We have ducks that live in like an enclosure. Cows. We have cows. We have 2 cows, and lambs and their moms.
It's very cute.
It's fun. It's definitely fun.
I have an idea for a couple of my items that Petunia carries with her that I've come up with. I almost said a headcanon, but it just is. It's not a headcanon. It is what it is. So one of my items that has a high emotional score is the Thrice Blessed Hammer. And I think I'm imagining it's decorated in like kind of a floral pattern. And I think that Petunia, you would think is like, follows like some sort of like god of water or ocean or something like that. But she actually found this Thrice Blessed Hammer at the bottom of the ocean. And it was affiliated with a god of like flowers or like growth and like that kind of thing, and so that's like she changed her name to Petunia when she became a cleric of this order, and so the hammer means a lot to her because it's kind of what made her decide to follow this path. My item that has 0 emotion associated with it is my healing kit, and I think the reason I have no emotion associated with it is because I've never successfully healed anyone with it. I'm not very attached.
I just looked. I'm still looking over all the cards and kind of realizing I never actually looked at the one that I have in the bottom right of my area, which is Wine Gourd, in parentheses, stolen from the bard.
Oh no, the scandal.
Very good.
Beautiful.
And I
What's
think
the
that
emotion score on that?
I have an emotion score of 1 on it, and it has an encumbrance of 1 and a usefulness of 0. But I think I'm going to retcon that I do not have a fishbowl. I stole the wine cord and broke like the knobby part of it off and put 2 eye holes in it and like clunked that over. Yeah. Because it's a gourd, you need to be able to see out.
Yes, so it serves no purpose.
But the other thing is, when I made the decision to have a fish bowl or something, I didn't realize one of my other items was outlandish horned helmet, which could have just been the thing that was enchanted. So I also now have in my head that there's not only the eye holes, but there's 2 holes at the top for the horns sticking out. Because it's just on over the helmet. Because Far Smash has never really contemplated that the helmet can be removed. It's just part of him.
Oh my gosh. That's very good. This is all great. Mila, did you say items that you had?
Not yet. Okay. So I have a first level spell book. And I think too is like like I said I leveled up. I don't think I actually have. I think I am first level. I only have a first level spell book that is fully all I can do. I think it's a hand-me-down from my brother, who's actually like a competent wizard, or like multi-classes. Like it's like very cool. Very much like I'm Hop from Pokemon Sword and Shield, and my brother is actually able to defeat a fellow, peer. And then my magic staff has 0 emotion, so I definitely think I got that at a garage sale.
Nice.
I also have malodorous components, and they just smell bad and they just stink. So I think it's just like I just reek. I think the fish are following you for the bread, but I think there's like some more like weirder fish being like, oh, what is this?
Going after the stinky bait.
I have to keep being like, go away.
That's good.
Don't touch me.
I like that. I feel like we've got our characters pretty well established. There's some suggested questions for like other things about the party. I think one of them that could be good, some of these we've kind of already answered, but how do you think we all met? I think might be good to establish.
I think someone stole something from me. And that's how we met.
That's how you met each other. I do like that.
If we want to go with that as the canon, then I think Farsmash was already recruited for this job and just knew that he would need something to put over his head and saw the wine gourd and took it, and then you followed. Like,
I just said, I'm joining your party now.
and just wound up also being like, oh, it's a paid gig, so.
I agree with that.
There we go.
So do you think we've been traveling together like for this thing? Like we didn't know each other before, but we were like either recruited or attracted to this group specifically to get this stuff back. Like a Suicide Squad situation.
Like the gnome named Craig was putting up a list in a bar.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
Retrieve these goods.
I think maybe you guys just needed like a wizard or like wanted a wizard, and I was just like, I'm a wizard, and you're like, well, it's short notice, can't get anyone else.
The wizard,
please.
the freelance wizard budget was just like really low.
Yeah, it was like non-existent. Got this first level like starting out, you know.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it happens.
Well, we do pay an experience.
Oh, no.
I was thinking that. Oh my god.
Are you is the wizard an intern?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. The poor little wizard.
Oh,
You're gonna meet some really great adventurers in your time here.
Are
And,
you
know,
okay?
those connections
Yeah,
that you make are gonna last you a lifetime.
I took a swig of coffee, and that was just so funny to me. Because yeah, that's how you level up in D&D, is getting experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm a level 1. I need the experience.
Yeah.
But also, it's a funny pun on the modern day hellscape that is trying to get a job.
That is the world, yes.
I'm gonna say that sparks joy. I'm gonna move it a little.
Oh yes, very good. That definitely deserves a pebble.
Sorry, I think I cut you off, Tristan. I was concerned that Mila was choking.
Yeah,
Safety first, safety first.
I was just
like-
continuing tortured metaphors about capitalism, so
Someone
it's fine.
dying on my stream. That doesn't seem like good.
seems like capitalism.
The second dumb joke that I made was just the adventurers you meet here, those connections are going to last you a lifetime. So it's really all about exposure.
That's true.
Only if I survive, because I might just die of exposure under the ocean. You don't know.
True.
You don't know. If my character dies, 100% is how they're gonna die.
You got an exposure.
Very good. I think that means we can go on to the next step, which is the loot. Which I have another little thing to read. So we have the items that brought us to this point. But now we have the things that we have found while here. The play-based Gonpari method enables a definitive numerical classification of all loot. However, an evocative name, such as the Hammer of Harmonious Smashing, and a colorful description are the true paths toward an invigorating and stimulating experience. So you all have 2 loot cards, which are the 2 white cards at the bottom that are not filled in with things. And the way that this works, like I said, these cards represent objects that you found upon defeating, or in our case, talking to the boss of the dungeon. For each of your cards, you take the following steps, which I think we can all do together. So if you go over towards the top of the Miro board, there's the Gonpari classification table, and that will be one of the things that we're using now. You roll a d6 for each of the following stats, noting the number on your card. The stats are encumbrance, usefulness, and emotion. So let's all do that together first for our 2 cards. And you don't have to say what your stat for those are right now. Just note them on your items.
So we're doing this for encumbrance, usefulness, emotion.
Yes, encumbrance, usefulness, emotion, and the affiliated usefulness we won't do anything with yet. But we'll do this for both of the loot cards because we're each making 2 pieces of loot. So let me see. And it might take me a second to fill in mine because my Miro board's being kind of slow. Alright, and that's... For a second I thought I was editing someone else's, but I'm not. Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah, let me make sure I'm on mine. Okay.
Oh
man.
They're changing as I put them in.
I cannot believe the rolls that I'm getting on this D6. It's like all the shit that I'm getting is like, oh, it's the heaviest item in existence.
Okay.
That's for you.
And then, ooh, nice. I got high emotion for both of mine.
I did too.
Okay, so let me scroll back up here. I'm going to, would it be more helpful for people to say what numbers they got and then I tell you what that corresponds to on the table? Or would it be helpful for me to just go through all the encumbrance tables? It's probably better if people say what they got, right? That way you don't have to listen.
I think if we give you numbers, that sounds good.
Okay.
Because I'll hear all those things and then I'll say my brain got none of that.
Yeah. I was asking, I was like, I think I know. All right, Alex, what did you get for your first item for encumbrance?
For my first encumbrance, I got a 4.
Okay, so 4 examples of things that would be encumbrance level of 4. Chainmail, warhammer, heavy crossbow, tower shield, guitar or trombone, a 1999 James Bond complete DVD box set.
That, obviously.
It doesn't have to be those things, but that
Examples.
level of weight. Yeah, but you can make that the thing if you'd like.
I'm gonna make it the complete series of Buffy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
What is fantasy Buffy about, though?
Still vampires.
Humans. It's about humans.
Humans.
Yes.
There's a
vampire.
portal to the normal world.
It's a vampire
Yes.
killing humans that wander into the normal or into the supernatural world. What was the encumbrance for your second item, Alex?
1.
Okay, so example, encumbrance weight things for 1 are ring, dagger, jewel, underwear, shirt, lightsaber handle, scroll, kazoo, well-trained animal, or a potion. So that's kind of the the weight that you would be considering.
I'm gonna do a well-trained animal. Kazoo really had me, but I've got to take the animal to go with my donkey. Has to have a friend.
That's true. Mila, what did you get for your encumbrance rolls?
I got a 4 and I got a 2.
Okay. I'll read the 2 because I read the 4 already, but I can reread the 4 if that would be helpful. So the 2, the examples of the weight of something. That would be a 2. 3-piece suit, helmet, short sword or rapier, pouch, lockpicks or a healing kit, clarinet, or travel rations are things that are around that size would be good for a 2. Do you want me to read the 4 ones again for you?
No, that's all right.
Okay. What did I get on my encumbrance? Let me scroll back over. Sorry to chat that it's just going all over the place. I got a 3. Okay, a 3 and a 4. Scroll back up here. A 3, studded leather armor, broadsword, bow and quiver, mace, shield, violin, or ukulele. Necronomicon kept shut are examples. Okay, that gives me some ideas. Tristan, what did you get for your encumbrance numbers?
My encumbrance numbers are 4 and 5.
Okay. 5, the example weight things are plate armor, claymore, or the spear of Longinus, Gatling gun, accordion or alphorn, or an unruly donkey. Could be encumbrance of 5. It doesn't have to be one of those things, but those are example weights. Do you want me to read 4 again? That was the one that ended with the James Bond DVD box.
No, I've got that.
Okay.
Yep, got that.
All right. I can next go to usefulness, if people want to give me their usefulness numbers. This time we'll start with, I'll start with Mila. Do you want to give me your numbers for usefulness?
Yes. I have a 3 and a 5.
All right, a 3 usefulness examples are a fine weapon, heavy armor, an unreliable magic item, or a reliable bow. So those would be things that have a 3 usefulness. So middling usefulness. A 5, the examples are Ultramarine Mark IV armor, secondhand, a magic ring uncursed, or a lightsaber. Those would all be 5 level usefulness.
Don't know what to do with that.
I mean, you don't have to use those specific things.
No, I know. They were just distractingly different, you know?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
I have some ideas, though.
It's shocking to me that lightsaber is 5, because I would say that's a 6.
Right?
But we haven't read 6 yet, so I don't know what those are. Tristan, what are your usefulness numbers?
So my usefulness numbers are a 2 and a 3.
Okay. So for a 2, the examples are mundane melee weapon, light armor or shield, 49 feet of hemp rope, a healing kit with no instructions, or a tuned instrument. Those are the examples for 2, and then you said 3 was the other one?
Yes.
Fine weapon, heavy armor, unreliable magic item, or reliable bow. So those are some example usefulness levels. And then Alex, what usefulness numbers did you have?
So I got a 6 and a 4, but are these for like separate looted items?
It's the same thing. So the first number is how much that thing weighs or how hard is it to transport. Like those are the examples.
Uh-huh.
And the usefulness is how useful the item is. So it would be the same item, but just how useful it is, basically. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, so it's like the complete series of Buffy, and its usefulness is for some reason a 6.
And then you can just get to decide why it's so useful, I think. So,
Okay.
Yeah, so like maybe it has like really good like fighting tips in it and you study it at night or like something like that.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So the examples for like things that are a 6 level of useful are the ultimate weapon, a unique magical artifact, a ring of 3 wishes, a cloak of invisibility, or a set of lock picks that create doors. So it could even be like a magical collection of Buffy that like does something.
It's like a lock-picking Blu-ray set, like...
And then you said the other was a 5 or a 4?
The other was a 4.
Okay, 4 I haven't read yet, so I'll read that. 4 usefulness, a reliable magic wand or scroll, a 44 Magnum revolver that makes you feel lucky, or a Swiss Army knife. Would be the level of usefulness of something.
Cool, so my
rated
bat
4.
can attack things.
Very good, very good.
You shoot 5 bullets or 6.
Wait, does my bat have a gun now? Is that what just happened?
Only
Does your
want
bat
to.
shoot 44 Magnum
So,
cartridges?
so the usefulness doesn't have to be something like, it's not like a pick list, so it doesn't have to be something from that list. But if you want your bat to have a gun, then that's why
That
it's
sounds so
useful.
dangerous.
Dangerous but useful.
You're right.
Oh, I do have a item that's a 1, so I'm gonna read that out loud because the examples are pretty funny. So one of my items has the usefulness equivalent to barely comfortable clothes, a blunt dagger, a stone that reminds me of my mother, which I could use as a paperweight or a projectile. So that's the usefulness of one of my objects. And then last is emotion. So let's go through those roles. Who haven't I started with? I don't remember who I started with or not. So Tristan, what are the emotion numbers for your items?
I have a 1 and a 3.
Okay, a 1 is something mass-produced, ugly, or uncomfortable. Or associated with someone really square, such as a politician with an MBA. That's the example that it gives. And then you said a 3 was the other one? Something cute with a substantial shipping cost if you order it online, or associated, I can't believe you got this, associated with a podcaster or vlogger that you haven't grown tired of yet.
So here's the thing. I already know exactly what this is.
Good.
I determined it 10 minutes ago. It's a haunted doll that's haunted by the spirit of, like, the captain of the ship.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That's perfect.
So, but because that's a 533, so it's like a life-size haunted doll because it's a 5 encumbrance.
So big.
Oh my god, so this big barbarian with a gourd on his head and horns is carrying a life-size doll. Am I correct on that?
That's wanted, yeah.
It's under the arm, like imagine a mannequin, but like under the arm, so sideways.
No.
And then
yeah.
the 3 on usefulness is that it's an unreliable magic item. Is what I chose. So like this captain's spirit is pissed that he's like still stuck here, and like may or may not be helpful. But it does cost a lot to ship it if you order it online. And it is associated. The concept of haunted statues and dolls is associated with far smash mouth loud's favorite scrying cast.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That sparks joy. I'm not gonna scroll down to the stones right now, but I'll move it over later.
I'll move one for you.
There you go. Yeah, thank you. All right. Mila, what are the 2 numbers you have for emotion?
A 1 and a 6.
Okay, 1 I went over, but 6.
Yep.
I do like the description of this one as well. Something magnificent, or that was part of a hero's legend, such as a D20 rolled by Matthew Mercer on a fateful Thursday. So that's something that is, incredibly emotional. And then Alex, what numbers did you have for your emotion?
So I got a 6 on the Buffy
Okay.
Blu-rays.
Nice.
And then I got a 5 on the Bat. Who now
Okay.
has a Nerf gun.
Very good, very good. Okay, so a 5 emotional level examples are something that inspires admiration and envy, of which only a couple copies were made, or associated with a celebrity who's always charming and on the right side of the discourse.
Oh.
So
Nice.
that's something with a good emotion. Let me see what mine are. Oh, I got 6s on both of my emotions, so that's what that is. So now based on those rolls, everyone will roll 1 more d6 to determine the affiliated class of each looted item. So mine, I got a wizard for one of mine. So let me mark that down. And then I got I have the numbers in front of me so I can let you all know. I'm just doing mine first so that I can write it down and get done. Oh, one of mine is cleric. Nice. All right. Alex, what numbers did you get for your affiliated class with your 2 items?
I got 3 and my dice ran away. Again, oh my lord. 3 and a 1.
Okay, so the 3 is cleric. So it's in the spot that says, like underneath where it says, oh, it's on the card too, so I don't even need to tell you this. But underneath where it says affiliated class, you can put cleric, and then 1 is barbarian.
It looked like 3 was bard. Was that bard?
Oh.
Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Am I confused?
you're wait. Oh, it might be different in the book versus on the card, or I wrote it down wrong. Both equally. Just use the one that it says on the card. That way you can do it on your own and I don't have to read them out. I'll be
so
lazy.
my bat is now a wizard item. Okay,
Perfect.
got it.
I'll just keep the ones I already wrote down because I don't remember what I rolled. Okay, so you'll each roll a d6 and then whatever the affiliated class you put for those. And then we can all decide. Oh, and then the affiliated usefulness is if someone from that class that we've just determined has the item, then the usefulness is doubled. So for example, mine has a usefulness of, one of my loots has a usefulness of 5. The affiliated usefulness would be 10. So if a wizard has this item, it would be a 10 usefulness. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Sure does.
I rolled the best possible affiliated class.
That's good. I got one that's a cleric, but it's not a useful item. So now we get to decide things about what our item is. If you all want to take turns describing your looted items, I haven't made up anything about mine yet because I've just been reading things out loud. So you can all do that, and I'll stall for me while I decide what my items are. Alright, wizard.
Mila or Alex, do you guys have something already, or?
I do if no one else is ready.
Go ahead. I'm just trying to think of a funny name.
So mine, I'm just calling it the complete series of Buffy because
That's good.
that just seems fine.
Yeah.
So the reason it's so special is it's been converted to Blu-ray, which is a pretty big deal because I don't think Blu-ray was like around back then.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of weapons and spells to study in it, so you can learn a lot by watching it. And also, since it's affiliated with the Bard class, I'm gonna say that you can like clink them together, and it makes this really beautiful music that you really wouldn't expect, and it doesn't scratch the discs when it happens.
They're actually crystal discs.
Yes.
Blue crystal. It's like they ting together.
Yes. But they still work in the Blu-ray player, so
Right.
Very good.
you know they're still incredibly useful there. Does
I
anyone want to go?
I also
with
wonder if they've
their-
been converted to Blu-ray. If part of like, is there like an associated attack? Like if you can like get them to ring at the right resonant frequency, they actually shoot like a ray of blue magic out.
That's amazing!
That's very good.
Oh, I'm writing that down. Ray of blue magic.
Oh, you know what it is? You can lay them out in like you can like put the discs around, and then if you can generate the right frequency using, because it's associated with Bard, using your instrument, they like make a lattice of laser. So it's like you can basically make like a laser grid.
That's amazing. Make laser grid. We're keeping that. That's staying in there. For my bat, for my well-trained animal, it's a bat, by the way. She loves everyone so much, but she can also attack, and when she attacks, she makes her owner feel very, very nice. So you get a good feeling when you attack the bad critters. And then she also now has a Nerf gun, I've decided.
Good.
And since she's associated with somebody famous, she was gifted to me by Sydney McElroy.
Nice. I love that the McElroys are just a part wherever we are. They're a part of the scene.
Canonically, the McElroys are part of anything.
It's true. What were you gonna say, Mila?
Can I say one of my items?
Yes, we'd love to hear your item.
What if I was just
Awesome.
like, no?
No.
That's the point of the game, but no. You can
No. Yeah.
You also got such good classes, Mila.
So I got the Bard and the Barbarian, and the one for the Barbarian is the scuba helmet of not getting hit.
Good.
And it's scuba helmet that deflects all attacks and lets you breathe underwater. It was much touched by the McElroy brothers.
Yes.
Oh my god. That's so
The emotion is 6, so with the Barbarian in mind, I'm like, yes, this is what would make it 6.
Yeah, that's so good. I also rolled a 6 and a 3 for my associated classes. And they lined up perfectly. Alex, what is Janet's favorite in world musical artist?
Oh my gosh. Let's say, okay, we're gonna just go with mine because that's easy. We're gonna go with Sincere Engineer.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to fantasize that. But we'll go with just Sincere Engineer. Sincere Engineer edition collectable. All right. So
You already got me hooked here.
I have a Sincere Engineer edition collectible war loot. With an encumbrance of 4, a usefulness of 2, and an emotion of 1. So it is a war loot, which is basically like a Swiss Army knife musical instrument. So like you can play frets and like compartments open up and like weapons flip out of it. Like it's an insane thing. It is the licensed Sincere Engineer edition war loot, but because it has an emotion of 1, which specifically on the scale is something mass produced, ugly, or uncomfortable.
Oh no!
And associated with someone who's square. So it's like and its usefulness is 2. So it is a mundane melee, light armor or shield, or attuned instrument. So it is in tune, and it will always be in tune.
That's something.
Which I feel like it actually coincides very nicely with the Buffy Blu-rays, because like it's always in tune, so you know you can always hit that harmonic that you need.
And we can get our laser grid going, yeah.
And then for the haunted porcelain doll, I actually rolled 6, which is barbarian. So that
nice.
I think it's just strapped to my back. Like I folded the legs and everything like up into it to make a little back out of it.
I know this isn't what you specified for the barbarian, but now I'm just imagining you in like a McElroy like t-shirt, like merch that has cut off at the midriff and has the sleeves cut off.
Oh yeah, sleeves are off for sure.
Yeah.
It's cut off at the sleeves, and it's a crop top, and it is canonically it's the orange Shrimp Heaven Now shirt.
There you go. Very good. Did everyone do their items? Except for oh no, you still have one.
I have one. So I have the trombone of light.
Is this Kingdom Hearts related?
It's not, surprisingly. The reason why I'm laughing is I just think it'd be really funny to essentially have a flashlight that you can only get to turn on when you're playing it as a child.
Good, yes.
Would be so obnoxious and so funny to me.
Joy. I'm just gonna move this over. There is something in Kingdom Hearts that's like blank of light though, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The trombone of light, however, is a mass-produced magic item. It's horribly unreliable. It casts like light, but it often like won't like turn on. So you'll be playing, and I think it'll be like terrible notes. Like you won't be able to like get it to work correctly, and it'll just like not light up, and like it definitely lights up from like where the sound comes out of whatever the horn part of it, and so you play it and then it just starts going like and like making awful noises, and the light just kind of like fades out like it's broken batteries. You kind of have to like hit it a few times to try to get it to work, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So it's useful when it works.
Yeah, that's very good.
I'm like shielding my Buffy series so that it doesn't like accidentally make the lasers go off or something, because I'm just very nervous that we're gonna hit the wrong note.
Okay, I was listening to all of your items, but with half my brain, because I was using the other half of my brain to come up with my items. The first one is a healing potion brewing stand. It has an encumbrance of 4, so it's pretty encumbering, but the potions made from this brewing stand have been known to actually heal people before, so I put its emotion is at 6, so that's why I'm immediately very attached to this. Its usefulness is only at 1, because it's still just a healing potion, but actually less useful, I think, than my healing kit. My other item, though, which has an affiliate usefulness for Wizard of 10, but it also has an emotion of 6 for me personally. So, Mila, your character may have a hard time trying to get this from me. But it is a level 6 Laser Lotus sash, which made me decide that that's the god that I follow, is something involved with Laser Lotus. It's a sash that was once used by powerful magic users who are a long gone type of magic user who kept order in the universe. The exact magic that it does is kind of unclear, but it's very powerful magic item, especially in the hands of a wizard. But it's associated with, you know, my clerical order, so I don't want to get rid of it. And I think that's all of our loot that we've made up. And I also think this is probably, the next step is that we start the inventorying process, which is deciding what we're keeping, what we're getting rid of, wheeling and dealing with each other. But I think before we get to that, this is a good place to take our break, because it's been almost an hour and a half. That's usually when I take the break. So for everyone in chat, we will be back in 15 minutes with the rest of this adventure, of us deciding what we're keeping and then figuring out if that helps or harms us as we're escaping this submerged ship. So yeah, do you all want to wave goodbye to chat while we go to break? Goodbye,
chat.
goodbye.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Felicitations, adventurers! We are back with the second half of our game of Gondo, the life-saving magic of inventorying. And we're gonna get back into what happens in the second half of the game. But before we do that, we're gonna reintroduce ourselves in case anybody missed the first half. My name's Taylor, I use she, her pronouns, and I am the person who is usually running games. This game is GM-less, so I'm, you know, just kind of I guess being bossy for no reason. There's no excuse for it. But I play video games on here. Right now I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley. And on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm either playing Stardew Valley or doing behind the scenes prep for games, mostly D&D, my home game that I run, and my home game of Monster Hearts. So that's kind of what I do here. But I'm going to throw it over to each of my guests to reintroduce themselves and let you know where you can find them, other things they have going on. And this time we're going to start with Tristan.
I am Tristan, he, him pronouns, and you can find me on most social medias that I want you to find me on, as the Trisket. So Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm just the Trisket there. But I also have a channel that I recently started with some friends called Unprofessional Ventures. And we are figuring out kind of what it's actually going to be. We know that like the most engagement we're going to get is probably on tabletop role-playing stuff. And we've had some really fun guests so far. We've had Pat Edwards, who is a really great author for D&D content. He came and actually GM'd some sessions within the stuff that he's written for us, and we're going to do more. But what I'd like to plug most is that next Saturday, August 28th, I think that's Saturday, yeah. We are going to be doing a charity stream for gender justice. It's Katie's birthday. She's the partner we got on the channel. So anything that we make during that, anything we've made since we hit affiliate at the beginning of the month till then, and then anything we make during that is going to be donated to gender justice. And we have some really awesome giveaways. So we have stuff from her dad, who is a really famous comics author, J.M. DeMatteis. If you like Spider-Man at all, then you probably read a lot of his stuff. He's donated some signed comic books. We've got stuff from Adult Swim, donated some merch. Evelyn, who you may know from the Adventure Zone Balanced dice set, has made some custom dice sets for us. We've got some awesome prizes and stuff. So head over to Unprofessional Ventures, and if you want to follow, tip, or subscribe, all of that money is going to go to gender justice. And on the 28th, anything that you donate gets you raffle entries to win some of those prizes.
That's awesome. And those links are all in the chat, along with links for our other players. So you definitely give them a follow. Alex, do you want to reintroduce yourself and let people know any other projects you have going on or things that you want chat to know about?
Sure. Hello, I'm Alex, she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at StinkerAtsCharms. And from there, you can find all of my other social media. I have a different name on Instagram where I do a lot of fiber art. So if you like kind of like creepy, fun, like embroidery or like little crocheted baby Baphomets, like you can go there, you can find them. I also host art shows both on Instagram and on Twitch where I get just people from the community. It's open to literally everyone, anyone who wants to join, as long as you're not rude, you can join and you can, we'll show off your art. It's a really good time. We do giveaways and things like that with that. You can also find me every other Wednesday over on So Many Games with a Z channel. And you can also find me there about once a month doing a charity stream because they do different charity events, usually to benefit a member of the community, usually somebody who needs help but isn't, comfortable saying something. So we'll do anonymous charity donations and things like that, or we'll donate to different organizations for different human rights projects and things like that. So that's kind of what I do, and you can find all of my linkies on the Twitter. Also, thank you for having me. I'm having a really good time, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. Mila, do you want to reintroduce yourself to people and let them know other stuff you got going on?
Hello, I am Mila. I am a streamer here on Twitch as well. And I play JRPGs and a variety of Kingdom Hearts. I think that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to reintroduce my jackalope because I just want to make sure everyone sees the thing that brings joy into my life. Because I don't have any good things to. I feel like a bad person because everyone's like charity streams and donating, and I'm like.
Okay, but listen, I was talking to my partner about that jackalope on break, so it sparked a lot of joy in me. Yeah. So just know that you've done a good thing there.
Oh, good. Okay, well, my charity work done.
There we go.
2020 in the bag, or 2022 in the bag. I know what year it is.
Don't worry about charity streams if you don't even know what year it is. I feel like you have some other things you need to work on first.
You're not wrong. Okay.
Perfect. And the game that we're playing today is called Gondo, which is by Callum of the Released podcast. And I am going to now playing. Oops. I can do the commands I need to do. If you want to buy this game, which you should, the link is in chat right now. And thank you again to Callum for giving us a free PDF of this game because it's very fun and I'm excited to be playing it. And that's always helpful for me because I play a lot of different games. So if someone wants to give me a copy of it, I'm glad to take one. So far, what we've done. Oh, let me actually do this real quick. Transition. What we've done so far is decide on some things about the characters that we're playing, some things about the location that we're in, and some loot that we've found in said location. We're in a submerged ship that was home to, I guess still is home to a kraken that we talked to, and they were very nice. So the way in here was maybe a little bit easier than the way out will be. But the next thing that we get to do is the name of the game, Step 4, the life-saving magic of inventorying. And this, like all the other sections, has a little blurb from the book that suggests you read first, so I'll do that now. Trade and amicable exchanges shape the final key to our emotional ties with our belongings. With this key in hand, all you have left to do is look at each item, one at a time, and decide whether to keep it. Does it spark joy? If your answer is no, unequip it. So this part, which we can do kind of a mix of in and out of character, we can talk about we've said like what the thing is that we've found, but if you want to like have your character like reacting to like I just found this cool thing and like what they think it is, that's cool to do. And also the things that we decide that we're getting rid of, we can be in and out of character with that. And I think the first thing is Petunia, the cleric that I'm playing, definitely finds this level 6 Laser Lotus sash, maybe like tucked underneath some of the crystals that we're supposed to be here to get. that I'm just realizing none of us made loot related to those things, so I think that means that we're not taking any of what we're supposed to get out of here.
We just got a little distracted.
We got distracted by
okay?
the other stuff. But I think Petunia kind of grabs it really quickly and like tucks it in to her. I think I have plate armor. I have chest plate and vestments, so I think I kind of am, hiding it away. But Steven, if you want to see it, you definitely can notice, because it is a powerful magic item that a wizard could use.
I think I definitely notice, and like maybe I'm like very, very anxious, so I'm kind of like noticing if like people are like being suspicious, and I'm like, oh, what's that?
Oh, it's a potion brewing stand that I found. I'm trying to figure out how to disassemble it.
What's the thing you hid?
What are you accusing me of?
Nothing. I'm just curious what you have. It feels good, like powerful.
Oh, this, and I pull out the sash. This is a trinket. That's why I didn't even know that's what you were talking about. It's really nothing. It's like glowing.
Oh, if it's just a trinket, can I have it? I have some other stuff. I have this trombone of light.
Oh, that sounds so cool, and I actually think you should keep that, Steven, because this actually has kind of like religious significance to me. So, it's worthless but valuable to me.
Fair, but it looks like it could be really useful to people who know how to use it.
Do you want my healing kit? I was thinking of taking this potion stand instead. So if you want something useful, you could take this healing kit.
No, so I actually found this really cool thing. It's a scuba helmet, which seems a little bit silly, but it'll stop me from getting hit, so I won't even need to heal.
I'm definitely glancing over at Far Smash Mouth Loud when I see the helmet. And I'm saying, Far Smash, don't you think this helmet is something you would like?
I think Far Smash like looks at the helmet, and then like instead of removing the gourd, feels around the gourd, like feels it and looks at it as like, yeah, I could use that. That'd be very nice. And then starts trying to do mental math on what kind of chain of trading can go on to give the gourd back to Janet, and then take the helmet from Steven, and then somehow Janet gives something to Petunia, so that Petunia gives the cloak to Steven.
Yeah.
Like kind of around the ring, but it's so much math for him to be doing.
Yeah. It's like that math problem, like, about switching body, like, if you, like, do, like, the Freaky Friday and you can't go back to the first body.
You look over, and he's got little stick figure representations of each person drawn in the silt on the floor with arrows going to, like, each one.
Janet's getting nervous because with all the arrows, she's not sure, like, since he's a barbarian, if it's arrows, like, weapon arrows, or if it's, like, what's going on here. So Janet's like, well, he's already stolen my gourd. I don't know if I want to steal my other gourd here, so...
Oh, God.
Well, if you think... Is it Smash
Far
Mouth?
Smash Mouth Loud.
Far Smash Mouth Loud should have the scuba helmet of not getting hit. Maybe you could trade me the sash, and then maybe trade him since the sash is just a trinket,
Why are
you could.
You're obsessed with this sash, Steven.
It feels powerful, and I feel weak.
I mean, if it feels powerful, I don't even know if you can use this sash.
It very much feels specifically like I should be using it.
It's for level 6, and what level are you?
Well, I'm gonna retcon again. Just gonna announce that. Well, technically, I'm a level 5, but I only have a level 1 spell book. So I could only do level 1 spells really well, but no other spells.
Did anyone find a level 2 spell book? Maybe that could be something that we could give Steven. Did anyone find anything like that?
That would be pretty cool if you did.
No books, just sashes. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I feel like a cleric having. I look over at Farmouth, and I'm like, maybe a haunted porcelain doll. You could help, cause you're
Farmouth
cleric.
pulls the porcelain doll in a hug and just goes.
Where?
Just a silent shake of the
Petunia
head.
definitely has the
you
look
could-
of like when your dog has something they aren't supposed to have. Petunia's like, where did you get that? And what is it?
Well, its name is Shannon, and she was the captain, and I took her from the captain's quarters that we passed,
Uh-huh.
and she sometimes says very nice things about where we're going.
Were you supposed to take her?
Shannon, did you want to come with us? And you see him taking the head, being like,
Oh, well, there's no denying that. Obviously, Shannon wants to be part of our party here.
Anyway, Petunia, while you're working on that, I'll just take the sash, okay?
What if just for the way out? What if for just the way out, Steven got the sash, and then we can work it all out later?
Yeah, I'd give it back if I had to when we get back to the top.
Are you? I mean, I've never even heard you talk about the laser lotus before, Steven. So it's hard for me to.
It's just you've been talking about it a lot, and I just think it's a cool thing. It's kind of a cool religion. I don't know. I could multi-class maybe one day, and it would be kind of perfect.
Wait, are you gonna offer to convert?
Steven is offering to be converted. Is essentially what is happening.
When you offered to be converted, Petunia's eyes kind of light up, and she's like, "All right, now this, because if I can get some people over to our side,
Trading your immortal soul.
For the low price of your immortal soul, you can have this sash.
Once you wear the sash, I think then you'll feel the power of the laser lotus. So I can part with it temporarily."
Janet billows her
Cool.
cape while this is happening, and it's like, yes, good accessories can really make one feel more confident. So I really think Steven could use it.
You sound like Pearl from Steven
just
Universe.
about to say, yeah, that did sound like
Especially the way that you said Steven too. I'm just like,
Mila, I'm giving you the laser lotus sash. I dragged it over to your zone.
Steven's just like, yes.
I think after that has been resolved, Far Smash looks at Steven and says, "What about there was a helmet? I think there was a helmet that was mentioned."
No.
Now, Steven,
No,
how?
I'm pretty sure I heard something.
Oh,
It-
that helmet. Yeah. Well, it's just a scuba helmet.
yes, and
Well, it's pretty cool because it deflects attacks, but you're a barbarian. Getting attacked is good for you.
Farsmash, you can't see quite clearly because Farsmash technically has 2 helmets on right now. And one of them just has holes for the eyes, but you can see him very clearly eyeing the glass front of the scuba helmet and all of the options that would present for visibility.
I mean, it does also say on the back that the McElroy the McElroy brothers, I don't know how to pronounce that, were here. I don't know what that means though, but I only have like 10 HP.
He starts going through his stuff, and so he's got the outlandish horned helmet, and then the wine gourd, which I'm trying to figure out are both like let's see. So the wine gourd is 1 encumbrance and 1 emotion, and the outlandish horned helmet is 3 encumbrance and 2 emotions. That would be a 4, like stacked together. I'm imagining these are 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So that's like a pretty relatable emotional score to the scuba helmet, which is a 6.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they both have a usefulness of 0.
That's what you have to balance, you know? Your emotion
Yeah, you gotta
versus,
balance this out.
versus how useful something is.
Looking through his inventory though, he has the souvenir skull mug and the close-fitting loincloth.
I don't want that. I don't want that Farsmash. No.
Oh my god, I didn't realize he had moldy rations as an item.
That's so good with the bread though.
It's so good with the bread.
It is perfect. Oh my god.
He really would love this helmet, especially since it's associated with Clan McElroy, the most well-known of the barbarian stone guard clans.
Yeah.
Well, wait, you want the helmet?
Wait, hold on a second. I just want to ask. So, if it's affiliated usefulness
Means
would be 10.
For which?
Not 6 for the scuba helmet because it's the class is barbarian, and so the usefulness would be 10.
Yep.
That'd be so useful for you.
Yeah, this would be like just on the scale of getting out of this dungeon.
I thought I made a horrible mistake because I'm like 5, 6, 10. Those are the same. I just did the same one twice on the wrong one. Then no, it turns out the Lotus Slash is very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm sorry, just looking Alex, I feel like looking at your looted items, I think you might have made the same mistake.
So what I did is I put 3-12, so it's like 3 is the bard, 12 is the actual usefulness, so that I didn't forget what class it went with that I rolled.
Oh,
so the
there's
1-8.
Okay, let me do this for you.
Oh my god, it says right there, doesn't it? Yep.
Yeah, it's up here.
So this is
3 is
wizard.
bard. Perfect. Yeah, so then you can do this for here.
Okay, a well-trained Immobat goes good with wizard. So here's what Farsmash does is he looks at the bat. I think the bat is, since it's for wizard, is probably like a familiar and is kind of like already fluttering around Mila, but like of Mila's character, so it's fluttering around Steven,
yeah.
but like Janet is still holding the tiny string leash.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. And it's
And
it's like embellished, like it's bedazzled.
Yeah. What Farsmash proposes is giving Janet the the I have changed the name of the item, by the way. It is now the Tancos Sincere Engineer. Tangent cosine sine engineer seer, as in like SEER. Engineer Edition collectible war loot. The mass-produced collectible edition war loot from the world's foremost gnomecore punk group.
Oh my god.
So he's proposing giving that to Janet, so that Janet can give the bat to Steven, and then Steven can give the scuba helmet to him.
If Janet agrees, yeah, I'd do it. That's a pretty trendy looking, or pretty fashionable looking leash. And this bat seems to really like me, and no one else really does.
Oh.
Other than you guys.
So the bat emotion is 5 for me, but since Steven is just so like pitiful, I feel like that might override a little bit how I feel about this bat. I was gonna make a big to-do about what all of the numbers on this on this Swiss Army knife thing was, but now I'm just like, oh, Steven needs this more than I do. I need to do my good deed for the day. I suppose the bat can be yours.
Really?
Yeah, if you really love the bat.
Didn't you have the trombone of light too?
I did. I put it into the middle because I just fully didn't want it.
So maybe that's what balances out the trade is Janet getting 2 instruments out of it.
Let's look at that.
Petunia is definitely like, I'm noticing a lot of trading going on, and when I had something that I really liked, I didn't actually get anything exchanged for it.
I do believe you got an immortal soul out of that.
That is true.
That's for the laser lotus. That's not really
Let's
for
see.
me.
But it makes you look good to the laser lotus.
I guess, but I'm just noticing some trends, some trending behavior.
Do you want the trombone of light, Alex? Does Janet want to take that too?
So what's the encumbrance on that versus the usefulness?
That is a 4 and a 3, but it's affiliated with Bard, so it would actually be 6.
Do we think that's worth it? The 6 seems good, right?
6 is
but the
good.
encumbrance is high. I'll take it. You know what? I like things, so I'm gonna go ahead and I am gonna take that.
I also love the idea that part of this is you trying to figure out how to link the trombone of light. They're from the same manufacturer because they're both cheaply made. So like they're from the same manufacturer and the same company, and they've almost got I can't remember the name of the cartoons with the lions, the robot lions.
Robot lions.
Robot lion cartoon.
The robot lions that can all merge together. There's the black one, the yellow one, the green one, the blue one.
Power Rangers?
Are you thinking
The
of
Power
people
Rangers
in the Power
Alliance?
Rangers?
Like
No, it was
Animorphs meets Power Rangers?
No, it was Netflix did a remake of it, and I can't remember the name. Voltron.
Yeah.
It's like Voltron.
They're lions?
I know the
Voltron
name, I
is
don't
like-
know the lions.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, Voltron's like all lions and cats and stuff. So
Well,
like,
now I really need to watch Voltron because I had no idea.
but like it's like they can Voltron together, and you're trying to figure out how to like merge the trombone and the war loot.
Yes.
Alex,
Alex, so different, but so the same.
I noticed that Janet discarded, I believe this is Janet, the steamy love letter.
Yes, I did put the love letter. I'm putting my lover to rest at sea.
I'd love to know more information about this because I think Petunia wants to sneakily pick it up.
So, you had actually, no, never mind. It's not my lover. I'm going to say this is like a love letter that I found at like a thrift store. And it is just like between the two like cutest old people that you've ever seen in your entire life, and they are just like so in love with each other, but they're also like a little bit raunchy. Like, you're like, all right, let's kind of calm it down here. Like, I'm glad y'all are still having fun, but like, I'm a little uncomfortable. This is a little bit private for me to be reading at the thrift store here. So that's why I took it home, so I could, you know, finish and see where their story went, of course. And now I feel like I've probably read through these letters and I'm ready to, you know, let these old people kind of have their day at sea.
I think Petunia picks it up and like also tucks it into her chest plate for later, and it's kind of like, this'll be some good reading material.
Yeah, it's a good read, Petunia. You know, if I hadn't already read it 10 times, I probably would have hung on to it.
I'll take your recommendation. This looks titillating.
Yeah, that is the word I would use, absolutely.
I just realized something. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just realized something, which is that we were sent in here to get these magic crystals, and none of us made any of our loot the magic crystals.
No.
We're not
bringing home
We're not coming back with that.
We didn't say we were good at our jobs. Like, I just joined on because you stole my gourd. I didn't really know what was going on.
I'm just here
of
for
which,
the
now
experience.
that I have that, I no longer need the horn helmet or the wine gourd stolen from the bar.
Well, I'm taking my wine gourd back.
It is no longer useful for wine. I do want to make sure that is clear.
It does have a 0 usefulness.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it is why I came. So I feel like,
Just
story-wise, I do have to take it back, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know it hurts the party a little bit, and I'm sorry for that, but I feel like story-wise, it's the whole reason I came.
Yeah. I think that's good. Does anyone else have stuff that they're thinking about getting rid of or wanting that someone else has? If not, we can start calculating our scores and things, and then based on that, we may decide that we want to pick things up or put them down. I was going to say, you know,
I have a lot of stuff, and I know this instrument that I have is my cherished instrument, but I've picked up 2 way cooler instruments now, so I think I'm gonna put that in the pile.
Swap it out.
See, this is my problem that I have just in games in general, is that I hate getting rid of inventory.
Me too.
So this is actually
kills me.
This is a big issue for me because I'm currently, my maximum encumbrance is 12.
Yeah.
And I'm at 14. I got rid of 1 thing and I don't want to get rid of anything else.
Oh, I have not checked my maximum versus my SpaghettiOs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think definitely Petunia notices that Steven is very overburdened and is like, you know, that sash, it does kind of tend to get tangled a little bit, and I just noticed that you have it like wrapped around your leg and then up the arm, and if you need to get rid of it, Steven, I'm more than happy to take it back from you.
No, I like it.
Well, you'll have to leave something behind because I can see your shins
anyone
are cracking under pressure right now. I can hear it.
They are. It hurts.
Oh, my heart.
I can't get rid of my spell book. That's my only spell book.
Well, you have the sash now, and you're going to be a cleric, so you won't really need the spell book.
Well, I'm gonna multi-class. I'm gonna do both.
I mean, I know right now you're saying that you're going to multi-class, but I think, you know, once we get out of here, you'll find that the sash is really all you need.
Maybe. Maybe I'll... Oh, gosh.
This is exactly how I'm feeling. I'm like, I have to get rid of 6 points worth of stuff. Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Does anyone need an unreadable stone tablet?
Steven, dear, do you need an unreadable stone tablet?
Well, it was given to me by a very famous wizard named
the Wizard of the Cloud.
Christopher Angelus, and it feels very.
Good.
It's the only wizard I know.
Arguably, Chris Angel, not a wizard.
No, he's a mind freak.
The funny thing is, I made a McElroy reference with Wizard of the Cloud, and then you went with Chris Angel, which is still somehow a McElroy reference.
Yeah. Still referenced quite often.
And like, he gave me a quest to translate it. I haven't.
Now, I think you may already know this since you love the Laser Lotus, but there's actually kind of a beef between the Mind Freak and the Laser Lotus. So, really, if you're taking the sash, you might want to abandon the quest of translating that huge stone tablet that I can see is weighing down the bottom of your bag.
It is. This is my third bag in as many weeks.
Seams are bursting open.
Yeah, and this is only a 4.
I thought I was doing good, but I actually am over encumbered right now.
I am too by 6 points.
I think, and we want to get the highest. Like, when we average our encumbrance, we want it to be a high number.
Yeah, because the encumbrance factor is the difference between your maximum encumbrance and your current encumbrance. So yeah, just if this helps people decide, your personal encumbrance, you want the factor to be high, and that determines whether you personally will survive the journey home and making it out of the dungeon. The total usefulness is whether all of us as a group will make it out of this sunken ship. I don't know if that helps people decide.
So we want our encumbrance to be low and our usefulness to be high, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. You want your encumbrance to be low and your usefulness to be high.
Well, so you want your encumbrance to be low, but you want your total encumbrance, your encumbrance factor, to be a high number.
Right. So I want like 14 minus. Wait. Nope.
7. Like.
Yeah.
If your encumbrance factor is 0, then you're basically
it's
you're
a 50-50.
completely encumbered.
Yeah, so I think with encumbrance
man.
it's 10 is the number you're trying to get lower than. I can't remember exactly what it is, but
higher than.
High. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's lower than.
Math is so hard, everyone.
Sorry,
No,
let me double check. Encumbrance.
I was just looking at it.
Oh,
so
okay, then you probably don't.
I think so. Your adventurer's encumbrance factor reflects the adventurer's chance of successfully escaping any lethal
Oh,
horde.
yes, you're right.
Sum the encumbrance stats of your cards in your proposed file inventory. Subtract this from your maximum encumbrance. The lower that number, the worse it is for your adventurer's chances.
Yes. So if your total encumbrance is equal to your maximum encumbrance, then it's a 50-50 chance whether you survive the dungeon or not, basically. Because any result lower than 10 is a failure. So this is where it's like kind of similar to D&D. So like whatever bonus you have is good. You want to get higher than a 10. Does that help, or was that more confusing?
Math has confused me. What you're saying is helpful. It's the math that's doing the confusion.
Basically, the main thing to worry about now is you want a low number for your total encumbrance. And then the encumbrance factor we can figure out later. But you want as low as possible for your total encumbrance. As low as
possible? I'm trying to get rid of my wine gourd. That's the whole reason I came, but it has no usefulness and only one emotion.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to get rid of my donkey, but Janet is fine with that, but Alex is not.
Janet, if you do want to leave your donkey to find their own way home, I could put my ceremonial chest plate on Bart to give him a better shot.
Do you think it would protect him?
It'll definitely protect his chest.
Bart, is your chest very important? And he like back at me.
It's like Mr. Ed, where his mouth starts going.
Oh God. Oh. Okay, Bart. I hope you make it home. I'm gonna cry.
Oh
Bart.
no!
Oh, Bart.
I love the idea of this like donkey swimming away.
with this chest plate that has an encumbrance of 4 and a usefulness of 0.
Oh God, it's not useful. Okay, can Bart and the Kraken just become best friends, and Bart can live under the sea
Yes.
with? Okay.
Yeah, Bart
That makes me
will be
happy.
fine, regardless of what happens to us. I think Bart's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna
makes
say
me-
there's
that makes me
actually like
happy.
there's actually like a dog bed almost in the corner of the room that
Oh,
we're
good. Oh, good. A nice fluffy
Oh.
one. It's very soft.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do I
Okay.
have to get rid of my cape? Or like, I can't get rid of my Buffy DVDs. That's just silly.
At this point, Petunia is wearing basically just underwear because she had to get rid of her vestments and her chest plate because neither of them were useful. And so
Petunia, I know you've been reading those letters, but you don't have to act them out. Goodness.
Oh, Virginia.
turns bright red. No one look at me. No one look at me. I'm doing this.
This really isn't in the way of the laser lotus.
If I had the sash, I could cover up a little bit more.
I mean, you should just be wearing clothes. I'm wearing
some clothes. It's like seaweed.
They
underwear,
were wearing
basically.
clothes. At one point.
Listen,
Well,
it's either this or I have to take the chest plate back from Bart. And I don't think any of us want that.
No.
No.
Bart needs it, please.
Avert
Oh,
your
man.
eyes.
Okay, I think I know what my final inventory is gonna be. I'm not gonna have the best chances, but
I really want to keep this. I feel like I have to keep this brewing stand. This brewing stand has an encumbrance of 4, which is not great, and it has a usefulness of 1, but it has a usefulness of 2 for me, but it has 6 emotion, so I just feel like I'm not gonna get rid of it.
Yeah, how could you?
So I'm like dismantling it and like putting it like I think I'm using it like I'm making like a mech suit basically around myself with this brewing stand instead of clothes. I think then I do get rid of my shield as well, my holy shield.
oh boy.
I have
Ooh.
I have 0 emotion for my gourmet rations. Can I just like disperse them amongst the group so that everybody has
yes.
snack time? Can we have like a nice little snack
Yeah,
time here?
I'm getting
Yeah.
famished.
Steven's just like
dressing will do that.
eating real
Okay.
fast. It's being like, oh, are you sure?
I think
Well, pay him now.
I think Far Smash keeps on like going to reach for an item from the snack pile, and then Steven like grabs it real fast, but Far Smash is like really deferential and polite.
Oh.
And keeps on like, and then
Far
you just see
Smash,
I
him,
think
like,
would you like
This
to
isn't like
see
Steven trying to steal it from him. It's just Steven not like picking up
Not
on
paying
social
attention,
cues.
yeah.
Very
I
good.
think also, I think Steven's gonna look at everything Steven has, and looks at his magic staff, his unfashionable magic staff that's now too small for him. He's gonna look at it, and he's gonna be like, well, I already got rid of the, what was it, Christopher Aurelius or Angelus tablet, and that was really important. And I do have the laser lotus sash. I mean, it might be time for me to get a wizard staff that actually fits. There's some self-confidence coming in. He's like, I look pretty cool in this new sash. I have a pretty fashionable bat. friend.
You are killing it, I will
Mhm,
say.
mhm.
Oh.
Absolutely killing
Well,
it.
in that case, I think I'm gonna also get rid of my unfashionable magic staff then. I think this is gonna be a new quest, new me.
Who needs stabs, honestly?
I mean, I do, but I think I'm gonna get one when I get back to town. I'll get a new one that looks a little bit nicer. I'm gonna and now he's getting egotistical, so he's like, I'm you know, like I'm gonna go shopping, Slay.
I don't know how somehow across the course of this, as the voice for our Smash Mouth Loud has gone on, somehow he's become very Michael Caine. Which, as stated earlier, he's always yelling, so it's just angry Michael Caine.
That's so funny.
Yes, accurate. Perfect.
And why do we fall, Mr. Bruce?
I just noticed that it's now the time that I originally told everyone that we would be wrapping up by. I simply lost track of everything. So I think we should quickly calculate our numbers that we need to get, and then move on to the next step. There's only 2 more steps: the journey home and the emotional epilogue. So I very quickly calculated my stats. The good news is my encumbrance factor is pretty high. It's 7. My usefulness is a 2, though.
Okay,
actually,
like
sorry.
the opposite on that. Actually,
It's more
if I stay where I'm at.
I was looking at usefulness, not affiliated usefulness, so it's actually a little bit higher. Hang on.
Yeah, affiliated usefulness is important.
4. It's actually 4. So still not great. Sorry, Alex, what did you say?
Oh, I'm like the opposite of you, where my usefulness is 22, but my encumbrance right now is 2. So I might be the self-sacrificing bard if.
Yeah.
My encumbrance is 2, but my usefulness is 18.
Okay. Well, that's good, because usefulness is the one that's average. So I'm really bringing the average down, but...
I thought they were all averaged.
The encumbrance, I think, is not. The encumbrance is just yourself. Because the encumbrance is whether you specifically survive. The usefulness is whether the party does.
Okay.
That's why I'm self-sacrificing, and you might be too, my barbarian friend.
It does say, by the way, just in the rulebook, but little thing, sharing your statistics, it says when sharing and persuading, because you can persuade other characters to try and up their stats or whatever, are done. Each player can describe how their adventurer looks equipped with their final gear. And I just want to say that I have a souvenir skull mug, a scuba helmet of not getting hit, a haunted porcelain doll, and a notched great axe, and I had to get rid of my loincloth. A close-fitting loincloth. So I think the souvenir skull mug is just tastefully placed.
We've both built our items to cover ourselves. We had to get rid of clothes.
It's a child-sized mug, so everything's just kind of stuffed in there.
Oh, this beefy barbarian, like.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So he was only looking at Janet.
Yeah, I think that Janet and Stahiden are just like staring at each other, like, yeah, hey, what's up? Yeah, good time down here, huh?
Only looking at each other. Okay, so total. Holy cow, Steven has very high total usefulness. Okay, so I'll tell someone the numbers.
Shit,
yeah.
Wait,
someone else do the math for averaging, and I'll tell you everyone's numbers.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, so the first number is a 28. The second
right.
number is a 22. The third number is a 4.
And then
18.
Is mine.
Yeah.
All right. Equals, and then divide that by 4. So 18 is our average
That's
usefulness.
pretty good. We have a pretty good chance of
Yeah.
surviving. All right, so let me see. I'll just put that number here. 18. All right. Our next step is the journey home, which I'll read the little thing. From Pre-Gondo's introspection of the art of inventorying and vast experience mentoring adventurers, there is one thing Perry can tell us with confidence. A dramatic unpacking of your equipment causes correspondingly dramatic changes in your perspective on life and survival chances. It is truly life-saving. So, the first thing we'll do is each player takes turns rolling the d20 against the average party usefulness, which you want to roll equal to or lower than. And then and then we total the successes and failures. So everyone roll a d20, and then if it's equal to or lower than an 18, you're good. That's a success. If it's higher, then that's a fail.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Did you all roll high? Perfect. I got a 13, so I
Mila
got a
saves the
success.
day. Okay. Mila
I
and
also
Taylor
got a
saves the day.
13.
Okay.
I got a 19.
So you really, so you did roll out your good.
That was a genuine reaction. Yes, I'm very upset.
All right.
I'm so glad you did not take Bart.
Oh my god.
Otherwise we'd be stuck. So that means that all of us do all make it out of the dungeon. The encumbrance is technically, I think this could be in the dungeon too. The rules say that the encumbrance is the journey home from the dungeon, basically, that you might die. Tristan, it looks like you wanted to say something.
I was just looking at the random encounters thing, the D20 thing. So it does say each player keeps track of their results and the group sums the successes and failures. So we've got 1 failure, 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Each player narrates a scene based on their failure. So if you failed though, one player who rolled a failure chooses an object in their inventory and describes the grave peril that befalls the party.
So that's if we fail overall. So the place where it says bolded
okay.
failure, that's if we fail overall. If we succeed overall, one player who rolled a success describes how their adventure saved the party from a failure, then switch
Gotcha.
to a failure. That person says like whatever they did that was a failure, but that didn't kill us. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, so that's for overall failure versus overall success. So who rolled a success would like to go first, describing how they saved the party from failure thanks to one of the items in your inventory. And whoever goes last, if this helps decide, also describes how the party escaped the dungeon overall. So if you want to do that, you can elect to go last if you don't want to.
I'd like to introduce you guys to really quickly.
Oh, is this a dog?
Oh,
Yes!
Hi, baby.
Oh,
Oh,
she's
look
a
at
lap
that
dog.
baby.
Oh, she's perfect.
She's been so quiet
So
and good this
cute.
whole time, and she just
Oh,
came over
baby.
and put her paw on my lap to crawl up.
Oh, it's baby.
This is Hazel.
Oh,
beautiful.
she's perfect.
Good girl.
These are the babies I wish to see.
Yes, these babies are the
I
good
would like to see
babies.
the baby.
I think with my like newfound confidence and my newfound laser lotus sash,
Mhm.
I think maybe just because you rolled a failure, Alex, I think
Yeah.
Janet starts to like slip on like or maybe she gets like, oh what, I don't know, I'm trying to think because I remember we're
maybe-
underwater. In my mind we're on a cliff, but that
We are on an
are?
underwater ship, yeah.
underwater.
The ship could be on the cliff. We said it was like shallow waters, but it could be on that like drop-off point.
Oh, like it goes to
Mhm.
deeper water, yeah.
Oh, well, I think maybe there's like, yeah, it's near where it kind of drops off, but I think maybe Janet kind of gets caught in like some undertow. And I think my well-trained animal, the bat, I think I'm going to name her Diamond because she's sparkly.
Oh, I like
Like kind of goes "Wee, wee," and like I'm like, oh, and I turn and look and I see Janet as she starts to fall back, and I whip off my sash and throw it back for Janet. Janet, catch on!
Thank you, Stahiden.
And then
You
I
saved
pull-
my life.
I pull you back, and I'm like, oh, sure glad you got out of that one, and like goes back to being like real meek.
Can I step in real quickly with just something that hit me? Is that so if the ship crashed like near that drop off, it's like I think it's like Titanic style broken in half, and so we had
Oh,
to
yeah.
cross that gap, and that's where the undertow is being produced.
Yes.
But I almost want to suggest that there's a twofold, like 2 items. Your bat and your sash are helping here, in that the bat somehow is surviving underwater. And when it squeaks, because it's echolocation, a pod of dolphins also come and like,
Yes.
Yes, we have an escort.
like
Yes.
I think 2 dolphins grab the sash on either end and use it like a net to scoop.
Yes.
Janet back towards you.
Yeah. Janet, I'm so sorry to have to ask you this, but since you did roll a fail, it's your turn to narrate something. It doesn't ruin our chances of getting out, but it is something bad that happens, probably due to an item that you have that isn't very useful, that harms that harms us.
Yes. So I think maybe I'm like messing with the trombone of light, which is why I got distracted and got stuck in this undertow to begin with, is because I'm trying to get this trombone of light to work, but it really doesn't want to. And I think that maybe I finally do get it to work, and I end up like kind of flashing everybody in the eyes and making it so that it's like now everyone's kind of like, oh God, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yep. So, which, it doesn't make us die or anything, but it's definitely not convenient in this moment of trying to escape this dungeon.
It's stressful, yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of
does
stress at the party.
It definitely does need to make the.
Yeah, 100%.
Or that's actually the noise it makes every time it won't turn on.
So you've also been annoyed by hearing this constantly with me trying to like turn this thing on.
Our morale is just dropping.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm overstimulated. I can't do this anymore.
My dog does not like that I'm making trumpet and trombone sounds.
She's like, please, I'm
Stop.
overstimulated too.
Tristan, do you want to be the one to describe how we escape, or would you like me to do that? Because that determines who goes next between us.
Well, I was thinking that the haunted porcelain doll that's possessed by the spirit of the captain would be pretty useful in like getting out of the ship, but that the final escape would be like just getting out of the ship is good for the captain, but like there's still the nature of getting back to shore itself. So I was gonna say that is that I think that we hit a point where like the ship is so destroyed, and as we were adventuring back towards the Kraken, when the Kraken left to go pick up, when Gunther left to go pick up his children from Kraken school, like it shifted the ship in a way so that it almost changed, like we couldn't go back out the exact way we came in. And so we've hit this point where we have to like figure out which way is going to be the fastest exit, and that's where this haunted porcelain doll filled with the spirit of the captain that can be convinced to be helpful. And it's just Gunther, it's a Far Smash asking the doll for help, but for all of you, what you see is him talking to an inanimate doll and moving the head around. You don't actually get that it's possessed.
And you're doing all of this with just like a little toy skull mug as your clothing, by the way, just to remind everyone.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
important.
But Far Smash has this whole conversation that's like, will you help us escape? And it's telling him no. She's saying like, no, I don't feel like it because I'm stuck in this body. He's like, no, this is a beautiful statue. You look wonderful. When we get back, we're gonna find the loveliest place for you to live.
I'm glad the doll wants to leave.
Who knows how long this captain's doll spirit has been stuck in the ship?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And so he convinces the doll to help them, and they navigate their way out of the ship.
I think the way that we get back to shore is not so much an item that is useful, but just the fact that Petunia has gotten rid of so many things, is that once we get a little bit higher up, the light is coming through more, so the water is like less of the blue-green, so you can really see Petunia now against the water, and you can especially see her because she normally wears all these vestments and this thing, so she's very covered, and so now that she's not, the places, her skin is shockingly pale. And so
we've got
she's
like a Petunia traffic cone.
Yeah. So you can,
Petunia's high vis.
yeah, it's Rudolph, except for it's just her very pale ass swimming. Everyone can follow.
Oh, poor Stephen.
Steven's just like closing his eyes so that he can like see the glow of the butt, but can't see the butt itself. You know.
Petunia, the pale ass mermaid.
Exactly. So that's how we get to shore. Unfortunately, we're not quite out of danger yet. So now everyone rolls a d20. And you add your encumbrance factor. If you roll less than a 10, it's a failure. If you roll a 10 or higher, it's a success. So let me go first.
Okay.
I succeeded.
I'm good.
11.
Barely.
11 as well.
We all made it!
I was so nervous.
Yeah.
None of us died.
Yeah,
I'm
we all
shocked.
escaped. Let's see. Each player who rolls a failure describes how their successful adventurers describe how they make it back home. So we all have survived. You know what? I think I'm actually going to combine this, since we all succeeded. I'm going to combine this with the emotional epilogue, because I think that makes sense. So we all made it home, but the last roll that we'll make is how emotionally satisfied and fulfilled we are. So everyone will roll a d20. And if you roll higher than your total emotion, that's a failure. So you want to roll low for this.
Oh no, my chances aren't great.
Yeah, no, Steven's.
Oops, I missed my thing again. Oh, I succeeded.
Oh no.
Oh, I succeeded.
Oh no.
Wait, if you roll higher? You
lower.
succeeded, or if you roll lower?
If you roll lower.
I hardcore failed. I rolled a 20. So I got nat 20. Very excited for a moment.
Yeah. Oh god.
You got a crit fail.
Yeah, crit fail.
You
I
sure
did.
Yeah, so
Roll.
if you roll a result higher than your total emotion, then it fails. So I succeeded. So I think what we can do is the emotional epilogue. I'll read this as well, since we're kind of combining the two, mostly for time. The final and most important teaching from Gondo is that even if things worked out in the end, if we don't hold tightly to belongings we cherish, we will never be truly satisfied. So now I think we can each go around and say, kind of like, we survived the journey home, but once we arrived at home, like, how do we feel? Did any of our items help us survive that final journey? And kind of wrap those two things together. And of course, mentioning any inventory items, either that you regret having given away and that's why you don't feel fulfilled, or items that you're glad that you kept and that's part of the reason why you feel emotionally fulfilled. And anybody who wants to can go first. If no one knows exactly what they want to say, I think I do know how it's going for Petunia.
How's it going for Petunia?
So Petunia, I think, the journey home, she kept her hammer, which is really the only one of the only useful things she kind of had was this hammer. So any monsters or anything that we encountered along the way, she's working to defend. This potion brewing stand is working out a lot better for her than the previous healing kit, even though it's very encumbrant. But the thing that really, when she gets back home, at first she feels sad that she doesn't have this laser lotus sash, presumably. I guess it depends on what Steven does with his epilogue. But she does have this steamy love letter and is feeling a little bit less inhibited now that she's ditched her vestments and all of these things and has this steamy love letter. So I think her being at home is just her reading this letter and being kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. I think I should get more into this kind of thing. Very fulfilled, very emotionally fulfilling. But what about everybody else?
I think. Oh,
go ahead.
Nope.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think, despite getting a level 6 laser lotus sash, I think Steven is able to get out. Obviously, that was useful for escaping. Maybe use the spell book to get out, and has an emotional connection with the bat, and I think that makes him quite happy. But I think when he gets back out, I think he ends up really regretting his choice multi-classing as a cleric, and a life of religion just like isn't really for him. But he's already like he got too deep into it. He can't really like pull back. Like he converted, and so he continues on this like path that he's on, and it just does not make him feel fulfilled. And he just wishes he was just like just a wizard. Like that's all he really wanted to be like growing up. And he's like, this is like too much. He also kept the malodorous components. And they're just like in like I think because he doesn't have his cloak. He got rid of his cloak, but he has a lot of pockets like just sewn into like all of his clothing. So he still has like more pockets, and he has all the stinky components. And I think like he got more confidence just from like doing everything, like having this like cool stash. And I think he like meets someone who he finds attractive, and like on the journey out and goes to flirt, and they're just like, ew, and like walks away, and that crushes all of the progress that he made. And, like he's just not confident again, and it's just back to it.
Just a bitter priest of the laser lotus.
Yeah, and like
life of
he's multi-classing. He's still a wizard, but like that's like his passion, his hobby, whereas like the cleric kind of becomes like more of his like job. And he just wishes he had more time to do his hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a nat 20 failure.
That's very good.
But for the grace of God.
What about Janet or Far Smash? How do your stories end?
Alex, do you know how Janet's story?
I think I do, yes. So Janet is happy, obviously, that she kept a hold of this complete series of Buffy, and it's basically the only thing in her life that is complete at this point, I think. Because she's kind of realizing that like her instruments that she has now are just like actually just mass produced and looked really like cool and nice under that blue glow of Under the Sea. But now that they're up, in the land, she's realizing that maybe she's made a little bit of a mistake by kind of hitching her horse to this, especially because that's the only way that she can get her complete series of Buffy to become a laser grid is through hitting those right notes. And she's got this trombone that tried to harm the party. So
but remember that the war loot, if you maintain your subscription to Danco Science to your engineer fan club, you have access to all those sweet tools, and it's always in tune.
That's true. And she does intend to keep her subscription as long as she can just continue being emotionally okay enough to pay the bill on time. She's a little bit worried that maybe that won't happen.
Yeah.
She's also realized that she was really, really invested in those love letters, and she kind of misses having those moments with those love letters where she just felt that there was real human connection, and she finds herself wondering if there is real human connection anymore, or if that was just a thing of the past. And she's just also a little extra devastated because she found out the store that she bought them at actually closed while we were down in the boat. So it's like she doesn't even have that to go back to see if maybe there are some more love letters. But at least at the end of the day, as long as she pays her subscription, she has her Buffy series and her little Swiss Army knife of tools here to hopefully make it work.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I get when I fail.
What about Far Smash?
Well, so Far Smash's total emotion was 15, and I rolled a 15 on the dot.
Yeah. I think that's a success, right?
It's a success.
Yeah.
I think we need a success, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make it some grand epic thing, but what I am going to say is Far Smash recognizes that as a rock-based being that sinks very easily in water, but that does have a scuba helmet of not getting hit. Far Smash and the haunted porcelain doll containing the soul of the captain of the boat moved into a small beach cottage next to the ocean, and Far Smash basically becomes Aquaman.
Good.
Like always underwater, only wearing the souvenir skull mud. And so Far Smash's persona becomes becomes that of Skullcrotch,
Oh.
Thunder of the Deep.
And you said this
That's
wasn't gonna be
very-
epic. You lied.
He has a very loving relationship with the captain inside the haunted doll.
Oh my god. He becomes a cryptid, basically, is what it sounds like.
That's amazing.
But like you can go over there. Like you guys there's a standing invitation for anyone to visit. And anytime you get there, like, oh, would you like some tea? Would you like some tea? And then has full conversations with the haunted doll. Like you guys still see him just manipulating the head of.
That's good. We couldn't ask for a better ending.
No, honestly. my gosh.
Well, with that, we're gonna wrap up the stream. That was Gondo, the life-saving magic of inventorying. I did not think we were all gonna escape alive, so this is, I think, a win for our characters, because it's
we lived.
Yeah, it's pretty random chance, kind of, whether you live or not.
We pulled it off.
Yeah, we pulled it off. Before we wrap up, though, I am gonna go around one more time to my guests, and they can let you know where you can find them. And this time we'll start with Alex. Reintroduce yourself and let us know where else we can find you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex, she, her pronouns. You can find me at Stinkrat's Charms. You think I know my own name. Here and on Twitter. On Twitter, you can find all of my other accounts, all of my other socials that are under different names and things like that. So if you're interested in art or, my charity streams, anything like that, that's where you can go. And also, again, thank you again for having me.
Thank you. Also, give me 1 second. I forgot to go back over to this. Sorry, I have a screen on the stream that's our faces are bigger, and it doesn't have the map anymore. So I meant to go to that. Tristan, what about you? Where can people find you?
Personally, you can find me on Twitter at the Trisket, and definitely follow that if you want some inane ramblings. About, I don't really have any guided thing that I'm tweeting about, but you can follow me there. But then on a professional level, at Unpro Ventures is the Twitter handle for the channel. You can go there to find links to our Discord and the Twitch channel, which is Unprofessional Ventures. And we are kind of, like I said earlier, still balancing out exactly how we want to run that channel and figure it out. And so that's why we like the name Unprofessional, because we don't know what we're doing, and we really don't ever want to have an idea what we're doing. So yeah. Perfect.
And then Mila, what about you?
Yes, I am Mila, they, them pronouns. You can find me over at Troll Mila here on Twitch. I just started playing through Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. And yeah, that's kind of what I do. I've been a little distant from Twitch, but I'm trying to get back into it. So yeah,
You've been busy,
and
so
I have been. With Bart, the real donkey at work.
yeah. And I'm Taylor, she, her pronouns. You can find me on here on Wednesdays and Thursday afternoons, either doing tabletop stuff or playing Stardew Valley. And then also on Saturdays, not every Saturday, but on Saturdays I do one-shots like this. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter to see some of the other stuff. I'm guesting on some different streams this month and next month, so you can check those out, including a Wanderhome mini-series that I'm hosting over on Chaotic Wonderful. But you can follow me on Twitter to see that stuff. It's at Roll for Felicity. We are going to raid Faye Runa, who is a VTuber and is going to be on my stream next month playing in a Vampire the Masquerade one-shot. Faye is great. She's very cool, so you should go over follow and you have it over there. If you are a subscriber, you can use this message. Is that right? Yes, Moobot just dropped that. So if you're a subscriber for Roll for Felicity, you can use that one. If you're not a subscriber, you can use this message. And just copy and paste those and say those in chat when you get over there. But that's it for tonight. Thank you again to my guests. This was wonderful. Do you want to wave goodbye to chat?
Goodbye, chat.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for joining.